Hi everyone, welcome to the next episode of Lovewell. This is my 7th attempt at this video. I have kids running around. We're in Fiji. We just got to a new location here, so we're still sort of settling in. But I'm very aware that it's the end of the year, and there was a video that I just wanted to squeeze in before 2021 was finished, which is talking about New Year's resolutions, whether I make them, if I believe in them, just the concept of resolutions. I think there's something really nice about the idea of setting intentions for the next year. It's almost like it's the beginning of the year. It's a fresh start. I can, set some goals and try and achieve them. For me, the word resolution feels a little bit too black and white. It almost sets us up for failure because you either are going to succeed or you're going to fail. There doesn't feel like there's any sort of in between with a resolution. So that's why I like to use the word intention. What is my intention for 2022? And I think intention takes a little bit of the pressure off. It also means that it doesn't just have to be about the end goal. It's about the journey in between, setting daily intentions. What are your steps towards achieving the thing that you really want, that you really are calling into your life? I used to do resolutions, and then I read a study that said that a third of resolutions don't even make it past the first month. And then when I reflected back on some of the ones that I had set years ago, I was like, oh yeah, that never happened. So sort of wrapping up the intentions with a positive viewpoint, I think always serves me personally, knowing that it's something that I'm excited to work on. It's something that will take time, and you can set an intention for 2022, but it can be taking the steps towards achieving that thing, and it might not unfold in its entirety for another few years. But they can be big intentions, they can be small intentions. I have intentions in many different areas of my life. This year, a word that I'm very focused on for 2022. It's not a resolution. It's just something that I'm thinking a lot about is abundance. Connection with other people in abundance. That's my favorite thing, is to meet people, connect with them, talk with them, and get to know them, hear people's stories, and even just being on holiday and the wonderful people that I've been meeting here, the local Fijians and the other guests. I love that. I feel like I'm having an abundance of connection. So abundance is a big word for me for 2022. Abundance meaning financial freedom, meaning abundance in just anything that fills up my heart and lights my spirit. Being with friends, family time in abundance. It's just the word that we kind of chose for 2022. Mark and I, we talked about, like, what is that? What do we want? We want happiness and abundance. And they already have happiness and abundance, which makes me happy. So that's great. I definitely would say I steer away from even using the wording resolutions. I much prefer saying, what are my focuses? What am I working towards? I have health intentions. Trying to really be conscious with everything I'm putting in my body. Is it serving me? Do I feel like eating dessert? Then I'm going to have dessert. It's going to be so hard for people to concentrate on my video, Folly. I'm back. The kids are eating food inside right now, so I probably have about 5 minutes. I just wanted to say that maybe resolutions really work for you. Maybe that's just something that you do. It's a part of your routine. You come up with your list of things, and it helps motivate you, and it makes you feel really dedicated to achieving those goals. But from a lot of studies I've been reading, so many of us set ourselves up for failure. So what are those intentional goals, the goals with intention that we can focus on? Because then it's every day we can do something in our day that's working towards the overarching theme of what the year is. So what is your theme? Think about it. What is your 2022 theme? What is that about? Some people, it's like for me, abundance, gratitude, those two things really come hand in hand. I feel like I am not welcoming abundance when I'm not sitting in a place of gratitude. Gratitude is everything. Gratitude for the hard bits too. Now that's always the most tricky part, is like, how do you cultivate the thanks about the darkness or the hard times? Like how do you cultivate that? Sometimes it's just like, oof, you just want to sit and wallow in the feelings of, oh my God, this sucks, which is an important part of the process. You totally have to do that and acknowledge how hard and challenging something feels, but also be like, all right, what's the lesson in this? How can I find gratitude in this? So I'm excited about my words, about my abundance word, about my gratitude word. And that's going to sort of manifest itself in lots of different ways. And I expect it to be unexpected in some ways. What will that look like? I don't know. We wrapped up 2021 by making a really big life decision, which was we're selling our house on a whim. We saw a dream house. It was way out of our what we thought was within reach. It felt much too far away, like a distant dream. And then we said, you know what? Let's just jump at this. Let's jump through so many hoops. Let's do all the things we have to do to try and get this. And then I think that paired with a little bit of universal magic, we are on our way to hopefully moving into our new house. We're not quite there yet, but I'm feeling that everything's kind of aligning in a way. And it took us taking that big risk, took us taking a big, giant leap. And it's scary. And I know that when I reflect back on my life, and even my end of year reflections, when I look back at the most profound parts of my year or parts of the last few years, it's always been when I've made those big life decisions that feel really scary at the time, but help me pivot onto what was ultimately the right path for me. So we're kind of wrapping up our year orbiting in this really wild space that feels sometimes unsettling and can trigger those fear feelings that I think we're all very familiar with. And then, you know, all of this uncertainty is going on in a world that feels completely uncertain. It's been 2 years already, and I certainly was one of those 2020 people who was like, woohoo, goodbye 2020, yay 2021, and it's almost gotten worse since then. I think like the expectation for things to go back to normal is has really sort of let us down, a lot of us down. So now I've freed myself from any of those expectations. The world may be chaotic for a lot longer. We don't know. But all right, how do we live with the new normal? What is that? It's not even new anymore. This, you know, it is what it is. How do we find the silver linings? How do we pivot and move forward? What are the ways in which we can do that fill us up and make us feel okay with all the big radical changes that have been going on in our lives? So that's kind of it from me. I really would love to hear what your theme is for 2022, and what little steps, what are your active steps that you are going to take to achieve that intention. For me, it is slowing down. I have the tendency to go very, very fast, jump from one thing to the next, and being in a place of gratitude, I always find it pulls me right into the present. Presence is just such an important part of things. One of my first active steps I already took today, which was downloading a meditation app that I had previously downloaded a few years ago. I never really got into it. And today I was like, oh, this is my active step towards all the things that I'm trying to call in, the gratitude, the abundance. And I think for me, meditating is really helpful. It helps bring me back to the present. You know, depression or feelings of like worry and fear, they say, is anxiety, and depression is thinking about the past. And, you know, I would say I don't typically go backwards. I'm not someone who dwells on the past so much, whereas, you know, my hubby probably does go backwards a little bit more than I do in terms of like where when I call it the committee, where the committee goes. But I have a tendency to future trip, which is where I can start feeling anxious about things. And if that happens, meditation is always like the antidote for that. I love it. I love how I feel afterwards. Even just talking about it, I feel like, ooh, this is just such a nice place to sort of sit in and reflect. I think year by year, I just want to continue diving into all the best parts of myself and slow down and be a better listener. And there are so many aspects of my life that I'm enjoying sort of unpacking and diving into and exploring a little bit more and growing up. I grow up every year. We are always maturing. And for me, it's just moving towards being the very, very, very best version of myself. So that's a part of all the things that I'm going to write down. It's a bit of a ceremony. I write it down on the 31st. I think it's bit part setting intentions and goals for the new year, bit part manifesting, and then a lot of it is reflection. So even if it's just Mark and I, other years we've had a group of people sit together and we just kind of talk and do our own version of prayer and offer up challenges and talk about it, reflect on the ways in which we've grown, the things that we've learned, and all the ways in which we're looking forward to sort of putting one foot in front of the other for the new year. And we're going to be here in Fiji, so we're going to do a version of that with the kids before they go to bed, and then Mark and I, we are going to get together and we're going to set our New Year's Eve intentions for 2022 and beyond. So that's it from me. I luckily put so much bug spray on that I actually haven't been bothered by any mosquitoes, and I have 1,000 of them all over my body. So many bites from the last few days, and all I needed is this baby. Whoop, whoop. Guys, it's been lovely chatting. I'm gonna go inside and eat some food. And I'm sending you lots of love. Please pat yourselves on the back. I know that it has been so challenging the last few years. But I believe that we're so resilient, and I just hope that we can continue coming together, because that's always so important. Community, community, community. Whatever that looks like for you, find those connections. Even if they're from afar, even if they're distant. You know, they can be your weekly Zoom meetings with your friends just to regurgitate all the crazy stuff going on in your life. A phone call, pen pals. Bodhi's just met his little pen pal friend here in Fiji. Whatever it is that fills you up, you deserve it. It's been so challenging. And I love you. God bless. Whatever your idea of God is, I hope they're with you. I hope you're leaning into all the good things in your life. And well done on 2021. You did it. You survived. And I don't know, someone calling my name over there. And I will see you in the new year. Mwah.